gods, what's it like to control it all? To decide who hits 2 outers and who will have the downfall today. That's why to you I pray, please don't betray. Hey, mighty poker gods, don't worry about the bad beat. I know next time will be different, and I'll get into the lucky seat for sure. We'll show my opponents what's in store. We'll leave them poor. Oh, give me good cards, please, like angelic queens. Oh, give me good cards, please, like the holy pocket kings, holy pocket kings. Hey, mighty poker gods, would it really be that hard to flop that guy a set? But on the river I hit my card, we'll get him good. We'll sit him to the rail like we should, crush his manhood. Hey, mighty poker gods, I've got much to confess. If every prayer of mine were answered, I would not live to excess anymore. I'd set the GPI high score, win gold galore. Oh, give me good cards, please, like angelic queens. Oh, give me good cards, please, like the holy pocket kings. Winning flips would mean a lot, especially in a great big pot. I can't win tourneys any other way. Fools waste time on GTO, but only the wise men know to trust in you if they really want to slay. SPRs and ICM don't matter, win all in and at risk to possibly bust. So be left with us. Hey, mighty poker gods, I'd sacrifice my firstborn child and sign in blood my soul to you to never, ever, ever lose again. I trust that you will have me win. Would that be such a godforsaken sin? Mighty poker gods, win or win, will the heater begin? Oh, give me good cards, please, like angelic queens. Oh, give me good cards, please, like the holy pocket kings, the holy pocket kings. Hell yeah.
Hold up, let him cook.
Hello, Matt.
All right, what is going on here? Why did we not have our intro?
That was our intro.
That was our intro.
No, that was the countdown.
Oh, that's all right. I'll take the L on that one. Sorry, boys.
Also,
No,
My
I liked
apologies.
it.
I was
Why-
taken back. Dude,
why does
Jeremy has
Landon
such a
just
beautiful
jump in?
singing voice that it kind of fucked me up. Sorry.
Why did Landon just jump in? Like, aren't I entering the show?
You had to let Jeremy cook.
He's cooked. He's fucking cooked it solid. Shout out to Ausmus and the sultry sound of "Hey There, Delilah," or in the tune of, I guess.
It was beautiful.
Brian really enjoyed that.
I did.
Too much.
I did. I even tweeted. I said I love a good parody.
I not that I want to dismiss Ausmus's talents at all, but it's a good indicator that he's on the wrong path when you're his biggest approval.
No. Wait. What?
Listen, he is the king of dad jokes.
Yeah, that's why he's great.
Right. You see where we're going with this?
Yeah, he's amazing. You want to hear all my songs about my dogs in the tune of Taylor Swift? If we have time.
Sorry,
Do we
Jeremy.
have these? Do you have these?
I have a few.
Jeremy, you're very talented on the guitar and in the singing, but this is your company.
I can't sing. I can play a little guitar, not quite as good as him.
You can
This
sing.
is your audience.
Be bad.
I can confirm that you can
Oh,
sing.
I can sing, but just not well.
How do
I
we
love
not
to sing.
have that queued up karaoke?
A Let's leave that behind.
What?
Let's leave that in 2022.
Actually, I might be going to karaoke on Friday. You want in, Brian?
I might have plans.
Cancel them.
Yeah. Plan on winning a tournament.
Okay.
Welcome to the Only Friends podcast, everybody. This is episode 199. We're kicking it off in a very strange way. Everything about today is going to be strange, I'm sure. We have a bit more of a serious conversation to have a little bit later in the show as the community has lost one of its own, Hank Yang. There was also another tragic accident on Mount Charleston where we lost somebody that we're all probably a lot less familiar with. We'll discuss that a little bit later in the show, but before we get into a bit of a sadder, deeper conversation, I want to kick off a little congratulations to young Landon Tice.
You did it.
Man, I did say the money make me handsome. That's what we were saying when Steven won the prime.
All he had to do was fold top pair when he got shoved into 13 blinds.
Yeah.
Puts your first W on the board for the year.
First W on the board for the year. It's pretty wild in the sense of I told you all I was over it. I'm over the ICM conversations with the Ace Kings and this theory, this practice, slave to sim, slave to gym bullshit. All right. I said I'm gonna fucking win it all this year, and I'm gonna win it all this year.
I hope you do.
What is it all?
Can I get a piece?
All of it, just all of it.
How do I get a piece?
Everything I can win, I'm gonna win.
I smell a bet here.
Where do I invest in Landon shares?
You can't.
What?
It's over.
You're not a publicly traded company?
I'm not. No.
Okay, before I take your side on this bet, do you think limpin' is pimpin'?
Is limpin' pimpin'? Limpin' can be pimpin'.
Okay.
It doesn't mean it's always pimpin'.
I'm taking Landon's side then.
Sometimes it's simping.
Sometimes it's simpin'. Yeah.
How much you simping this year?
No simpin' this
No
year for
simping
me,
this
dude.
year.
Bro,
I'm over it.
He simps. He simps hard. It's just low key, but he simps.
What kind of fucking gaslight is this?
How's it gaslight? It's not gaslighting when it's true.
Says who? Simping for who?
Not anyone in particular, just in general
There ain't no
sense.
simping going on in this bitch.
See, this is how you rile him up.
I know.
And then he gets mad, and now he's like,
No,
he's
well,
not mad.
I don't get mad, but the comments think that I'm mad at Matt.
For
Yeah.
the rest,
For the
you-
rest
you
of
might-
my
He was
days.
simping for that pads engagement and got showered.
No, I got engagement. It just I can't believe that people don't understand sarcasm.
I've never been more embarrassed on behalf of poker Twitter than I was today reading through those comments. I can't believe how many serious answers came in that thread.
Mamma mia, mamma mia.
Mamma
I thought that
mia.
gave it away.
Yeah, I thought the Mamma Mia was a pretty clear giveaway.
Right.
So here we see Landon facing a 3x pot jam for his
into
tournament
that.
life.
Can you click into that, Guapo?
It's for his tournament life.
Graphics,
Mamma
yeah.
mia, what do we do? I mean, I guess it's only 2.5 x pot. Fuck you, Conrad. Look at Conrad hopping in the chat. Who does he think he is?
Fuck you, Conrad.
We're running a show here, sir. You don't just get to be in Las Vegas and be in the chat.
Mamma mia, mamma mia.
That's not how it goes. Somebody ban him. You know what? I'm banning him. I'm banning him from the chat. He's getting timed out.
Timed out.
Put
The
this
New Year's
user in
starting so
timeout.
great.
Yep.
Put this user in timeout. He's out.
Man.
Goes into day 2 of the Wynn seconded chips, and somehow he's out before the show even starts. What is going on here? This is
know.
madness.
Crazy.
Showers to my man
Yeah.
Conrad.
Yeah. Well,
We
good
hit him with
start to
the
the
double
year.
showers.
This was my first. It was second online like small grind that I had.
To be clear, you did call.
Yes, I did. And he had ace 9 of clubs, which,
Ace 9 o'clock.
which everybody in the chat definitely correctly.
Was there a sweat on the turn?
No.
I just.
I mean, there's
Unlucky.
always the ace sweat.
I mean, yeah, but
Unlucky,
I mean,
man.
you know,
Unlucky.
Yeah.
no 8 of clubs on the turn.
He had 3 to a straight. He had 3 to a flush. He had an overcard. I mean, he could have won.
Good hand.
Could have won. Yeah.
But he
Very good
didn't
hand.
win.
You won
I
the whole
won.
thing.
I'm glad you were able to afford long pants for today now that you had that
No,
win.
I did. This is only a product of an Uber getting to the house, and I needed to quickly throw on the clothes I could first originally see.
So you're saying that you have the option to wear pants every day, you choose not to.
Correct.
Listen, selfless Landon wears pants. Selfish Landon puts on the 5-inch inseam shorts. That being said, I do have to get new inseam shorts because I like them.
I need
I
to.
need to.
Okay.
Then
That's
say-
what I heard.
I
heard
that's
you
what
need
I
to.
heard too.
No. I need to because I like them.
Just buy the Berkey size and put
Buy
them
a
on your
large.
long fucking ass legs.
Yeah, I got to show off the quads. I started doing more hack squats.
Mm-hmm. So have you been banned from Pads' Twitter?
No, not yet. Oh man, he did get me for 24 hours once. he made one of these engagement tweets where I was along the interpretation that people knew he was kind of doing this for engagement, where Henry, on the other hand, was very adamant that that's not what's going on.
It's not what's going on, man. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's very smart.
He's a smart guy.
I think he just has questions about MTT spots.
Speaking of engagement, can everyone go like Landon's tweet so he doesn't get ratioed by Fedor?
I'm gonna get ratioed by Fedor.
Oh, you already did. Yeah, 41-37.
It's over.
Yeah.
But no, wait. Can you? Is you still get ratioed if you're ratioed, but then you overtake it again?
See, Henry's of the
Is it like
impression.
a screenshot of like a capture moment in time?
Henry's of the
ratioed?
impression that if there's even one moment in time where he
Where it's
has
like 2 likes to 1 like, and then you have 1,000 likes afterwards.
mate,
doesn't
I
matter?
ratioed the fuck out of you, mate.
Listen,
Matt got
ratioed.
ratioed. Landon got ratioed.
Listen.
You're all easy to
Come on,
ratio.
Relax.
Guys, please.
You have to
please
wait until-
like Landon's tweet. He
Stop.
can't
All right,
take
I
it
like it.
anymore.
I can
like
take.
it.
I can take it. I can take it. I'm the king. I'm the king of social media, Twitter.
Fedor has 3 times as many followers as you. It's not fair.
Listen, the way the ratio works is when the dust settles after all the conflict has ended,
Yeah.
whoever has become the victor
Right.
with more hearts.
You're
Yeah.
is
still
the
in the
winner.
battle at the moment.
Right.
Right. No, the battle's over. It's over. Or 100%. Like the dust is gonna settle. He might ratio me by like 2x. It's too easy, low hanging fruit. You know, the Perkins stuff already happened.
But the battle's still raging.
No, the battle's over. This
Well,
is
he's
like
winning the battle.
the battle is over. I've surrendered.
It's like you guys can't. Why can't you speak? Clearly, what Brian is saying.
I get
it. Then why are you not acknowledging it?
because I understand what he's saying. The battle is clearly raging on. The issue is the battle has been lost.
Okay, that's
There's
a
no
lot more
recovering.
clear.
He's got me.
That's a lot more clear.
Brian knew. Look, he said it. He said it. Look, he's just starting to. He wants to cause problems on purpose.
Well, because the way that this interaction was going to continue was he was going to keep trying to belabor the point
Correct.
that the dust has not settled, and you were going to keep trying to belabor the point that you weren't going to catch up.
I'm not going to catch
Brian-
up.
And we were going
trying
to
to
have to
be a
suffer
wing.
through it.
Brian's trying to be a wing for you.
No,
and you're
he's
just
not.
like, stop being a wing.
Because listen, Brian, or sorry, Andre, when you know that you know in chess when you resign to stop you just from losing as is. I'm resigning, so I don't need a wing. It's over.
Yeah.
You lost.
Yeah.
Try again next time.
He's like that guy in Braveheart that got the arrow right in his ass. That's him right now.
Mission failed.
Yeah.
He got me.
He died from an arrow in the ass?
But you gotta give
Not-
respect to
not
Brian though.
William
Like
Wallace,
he's
but-
trying to be out there for you. You know.
I get it. I appreciate it, and I love my friends.
You're looking at this 10 on the dance floor, right? You trying. She said no a couple times, and he's just going up there, be like, "Hey, this guy has a really big penis."
Wow.
I have to
And-
tell you.
Dude,
I
listen,
don't
you're-
think that works.
Listen, Landon's almost unratioed. It's we need one more like.
Well, neither does asking for likes though. So
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Lamanna loves panhandling for likes. It's his shtick.
It is.
look, Fedor got one more too. So someone went on this
No, come on,
and
people.
said, "No, fuck you."
The live
And then
update.
They kept,
Oh, here we go. No, it's still down by 1.
The live
Yeah.
update. Can I go unlike it? Is
Yeah, I was
that-
gonna say, can anyone check if you already liked Fedor's? Can you unlike it?
Well, here's the thing when it comes to something like this.
Motherfuckers are gonna
What is happening?
He literally walked by our screen going, ah. He literally
This
did it. He
guy.
goes, you
not so
guys
close,
can't.
not so
ah."
close, not so close. You're gonna just use my microphone.
The fucking balls on this guy. What do you mean use
This
it?
guy.
Just scooch over, man.
Well, because it's framed up just for me.
No, it's. I mean, only if you sit in the center.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the center. Fuck
Yeah,
you,
you guys
Conrad.
can just get real close to each other.
Connie, how you doing, buddy? Happy New Year. I haven't seen
I have to tell you. I have to tell you. You guys. There's probably a lot of people watching who don't know Hank Yang, but the chaos of today's show is so perfect as a memorial to his life lived. I mean, what is happening right now with YouTube? Please,
Bro,
we have another mic, bro.
I'm convinced that
I'm in
Conrad
the shop,
busted the
baby.
Wynn tournament just to come do this podcast.
Well, whatever. We won't get into it. But if that were true, then we would not have an issue for tomorrow.
Connie, did you punt?
No, somebody backjammed in my throat.
I want to hear some hand
So you
histories.
punted.
No, I had ace king.
Just
Mamma
fold.
mia, mamma mia.
Just fold, bro.
Never. Call.
They had.
Nines. I
Nines,
lose.
yeah,
See you
nines,
later.
you lose.
I'm out of here.
Bro, you.
9 on the flop. See you later.
Sorry, guys. Quick update, but Landon is in the lead.
Yes, let's go, Landon. 48. Look at that.
We're using our social media presence to stop a ratio that's
Oh my
inevitable.
God, by 1.
See, can you turn to this? Turn to it. Look at this, Mad.
What's going on right now?
This is just
This
crazy.
is a professional production, sir.
It is crazy that Fedor is picking up though. He was just at 42. He's at 47 now.
Well,
Explain to me how this happens on the day that our producer is actually in the studio.
Everyone should just type showers Fedor. Showers
Oh
for
my
Fedor.
god.
oh boy.
You know what?
No,
I love
Guapo, we got this. We got
Yeah,
this.
clip this.
Go back.
Clip
Go back.
this. Someone clip
Guapo.
this.
Damn it. Berkey's so mad right now.
Oh man.
He's so mad right now.
Matt's just giving up. He's just giving up.
We needed that.
I hate everyone, man.
absolutely fucking based.
This is
You can't yell though.
This is 199
yeah.
episodes of experience right here, guys.
Oh my god. This would have been so much better if it was the 200th episode.
Do I plug these into anything?
That
That'd be great.
this cannot be the right framing.
No, of course not. You just keep refusing to move fucking
I
left.
moved over, you bitch.
Let's go!
What are you talking about?
Welcome to the OnlyFans podcast,
Do you
everybody.
you see where the center is? This is the center line.
This is what the people are here for.
This is what I came for.
They're here to
can
watch it
see the
crash
frame,
and burn.
man.
You know, all you have to do is not time me out
Yeah.
on the fucking chat.
Look how short you are. Honestly, you being that short is well worth the price of admission right
This is
now.
Great.
Conrad's always that short. You're like 5'6", 5'5".
Oh,
Yep.
Well, that's a bit rich.
my
That's
God.
rich coming from you.
They call him the Long Island ankle biter.
Oh wait, that's what the white people say.
Henry,
That's a bit rich.
You want some of this right now?
You want to roll?
We can roll right in the center.
I mean, baby, I'm ready to roll anytime.
No, you're not.
Yo, he's gonna start
You don't wanna
shrimping at
roll.
you.
What is this stupid fucking pinata next to you?
How is that the first time you've seen it?
Why? Because it's never been there. Is the obvious answer?
First thing I saw.
I created this beautiful thing one
You're
day.
so stupid, man. Honest to God, like, how did you end up in my life?
You ain't Christian.
You know,
It reminds me of that one for Landon's birthday that you made, but it's just got your face on it.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
you know,
Which
I
is-
changed faces.
Yeah, that's what he was imagining
Landon
when he
hate-
was swinging for the pinata on his birthday.
No, it was
that was
Landon's face.
entertaining. That was definitely entertaining.
you know how they the Shakespeare quote of like some are born with great, some like have something wrong with greatness, and then some have greatness thrust upon them. That's Conrad into your life. He was thrust upon you.
We're quoting Shakespeare now.
I've,
Wins one
He had
tournament, and all of a
greatness-
sudden
he
he's
had
quoting
greatness
Shakespeare.
thrust
I'm an
upon him.
educator and a scholar.
What are you doing, Connie?
Hell.
We had a really good talk yesterday, though.
Follow that.
I thought yesterday's conversation was really good, in spite of the fact that I was terrified that you were going to fall asleep before the podcast started.
Yeah, and then I took some pre-workout.
What I'm realizing though is low energy Landon is actually like way better for an engaging conversation.
Yeah, low energy Landon can actually listen. High
I
energy
tuned
Landon.
in for a little bit on my dinner break. It was good.
You learn anything?
I want to go.
You learn anything?
No, not really.
Based.
I'm gonna go back and listen to the whole thing, and maybe I'll pick something. up.
Okay, fucking based.
I love how like the average age of like social media in this group has gone down since my involvement into your lives.
No, it's not just you, man. I read a Mark Madden tweet today.
Mark Manson?
No, Mark Madden.
Who's that?
He's a Yinzer radio host who's like in his 60s.
He's a fucking idiot.
He claims him.
He's a jagoff.
He claims himself to
He
be.
is a
He
jagoff.
claims himself to be a super genius. He's the most prototypical Yinzer of all time. Super fan of the Penguins and the biggest hater of the Steelers of all time. But like low key, deep down, he roots for them.
So that's why you have Penguins and Steelers on
So
your body.
all he does is talk shit about the Steelers 24/7. And he put out a tweet today about Deontay Johnson.
Yes, I knew it was coming to Deontay Johnson.
Said something about the fact of like all you Yinzers who are complaining about him now. He's always been like this way, yada yada yada. And they're like, just fuck. And then he goes like, just get rid of him. He's mid.
Yes, I love when
like
everyone's
60 years old.
You gotta keep up with the
Fucking
times.
It's like this fucking idiot, man. We played poker with him a few times. He used to come to the steakhouse game.
Yeah.
And he claims himself to have like 180 IQ. But I have to tell you, my interactions with him at the table did not lend me to believe that he was that sharp.
Yeah.
He is actually. Lamanna says he's a fucking idiot, but that's because Lamanna's also a typical Yinzer.
Yeah.
He actually is like
I just
incredibly sharp about
well,
his takes.
Yeah, I don't mean he's in.
But he's really controversial, like purposefully.
Right.
I mean, he
probably-
sounds like he knows how to get some engagement. Mamma mia, mamma mia.
He's great. I
guess
can't not listen to him.
I could change idiot with asshole jagoff, whatever you want.
He's a jagoff for sure.
He's
But he's
definitely
like,
the sharpest yinzer I've ever met outside of Lamanna by saying Deontay Johnson sucks. So
you guys are so dumb.
I said Johnson is a fine number 2.
Fine. I mean, whatever.
He is. He's a fine number 2. Like
We're not going to have this debate.
Not today.
Yeah, we'll say that for the 200th
On at least
episode.
16 teams, he would be a number 1, and the Steelers is one of them. But yes, the future is Pickens. The future is now, old man.
Man, that's rich coming from you.
I wish I remembered any more of the list. I only remember that's rich coming from you.
That's the only good one. Or like, hey, okay, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah, they're all Henryisms.
Yeah.
just ask Henry to talk. We'll get him all.
Only a couple weeks till pitchers and catchers.
It's bingo with Henry vernacular.
There was one of the past episodes of it was like one of the last times Henry was on. I think you mentioned something about like fighting or having been in fights or something like that, and the comments started pouring in about like the Henry closes his refrigerator door with his hips and says boop.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
I honestly haven't had that much fun doing commentary in forever.
It's a blast.
That was fantastic.
Like honestly, like if you're gonna get memed on too, it's when it comes based off of your demeanor of like, oh, you're just such a nice person.
Yeah.
Like what a way to be memed.
It was good fun, especially like it's the World Championships as well, and everyone collectively just came together to meme.
Yeah,
great fun.
Yeah,
You got Ned Flanders.
Yeah, Ned Flandered.
Ned Flanders aura, if you will. Heidely ho, neighbor.
Okay.
Melissa says, I love how Andre is making himself look taller than Conrad. Real alpha move. Super alpha right now.
Yep.
As if Conrad wasn't looking small
Conrad
enough.
looks like
he's leaning.
He looks like he just dusted off the 100 bigs in about 45 minutes.
Do you want my stool?
No. I do not want something riding up my ass.
Can we get you a stack of books or something to sit on? Like, this is
Hold on,
embarrassing.
let me sit like Andre.
You might have to sit on your knees. Yeah, sit on your knees, take your shoes off, get comfortable,
Sit like Andre.
There you go.
Yeah, look, get a little posture. It's good to see. All right.
Yeah, I got the list, by the way, so I'll chuck some out when appropriate.
Okay, perfect. Few updates on the current affairs around the world. The egg shortage. We're not going to play the clip because it's way too goddamn long, but I saw a video earlier today. Somebody tagged me in. I don't know how true it is. I didn't do my own research outside of watching this clip, but apparently there are farmers who are claiming that the supermarkets aren't willing to pay an inflated price for eggs as the cost to create eggs have gone up. So basically, though there has been a bout of the avian flu killing more chickens, according to this video, farmers are ordering fewer hens, which is now creating an egg shortage as a whole globally.
So there's a war on eggs right now.
Correct. Apparently, what they're saying is that the cost of feed, fuel, all these things is going up. So the cost of actually having hens is increasing, but they're selling eggs to the store for the same price that it's been for, however
I can't
long.
believe that you guys just don't have a few hens running around.
I was gonna ask, like, at what point
For
do
what,
we just
Gatsby did fucking murder?
That's what a coop's for.
We collectively eat 12.5 a day, so we would have to have 16 to 20 chickens.
All right.
What do you think this is?
Get yourself a hen house.
You could probably ask our neighbor
First of all,
for some land.
that's an invitation for coyotes to come in and scoop Scout.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Second of all, like, Gatsby's not going to have anything to do with that.
And Scout would sit there and bark at him 24/7.
Yeah.
That is true.
But you have all the eggs you could eat.
Wow. The lies.
sounds like
She still barks at Conrad when he walks through the door. He's lived there for years.
She's gotten a little better.
I think she barks at everything.
No, just
I
him.
stole her from you the other day.
I know, that was fucked up.
That was fucking great. He said, Scouty. I said, Scout.
She knows you keep your room at 77 degrees.
He came straight over here.
77.
67.
67. You're dupa.
no, it's crazy because he and I live on the same side of the house. I need to make it go as cold as possible when I try to sleep, and when he used to wake up before me, he would just turn off the AC.
Yeah,
and I would
wake
just
up,
wake up and
motherfucker.
sweat. It was painful.
Do you think as the war on drugs is slowly coming to an end, do you think that the cartels will start utilizing eggs instead?
They might. They really might.
Gonna start egg laundering?
Yeah, this might be the play, man.
Might be.
How do we get in on it?
Get some free range eggs from the Colombian cartel.
It's all about supply and demand.
Sounds like we need a hen house.
I have to tell you, I don't know if I can take many more things in my small sphere going way up in price. Like, It was fine whenever, they were elevating the price of gas. Whatever, I'll drive a little less. I don't drive that much
Sounds
anyway.
like you should get a Tesla.
Whatever. Now eggs? You're telling me I can't get my eggs? What's happening? Was that
Vince
Conrad?
joining outside this month? Yeah.
Who invited this guy?
Nobody. Literally nobody invited this guy. He invited himself.
Don't time me out, motherfucker.
Can you imagine if pre-workout starts going up?
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the last frontier. If there's a shortage on Ghost Watermelon pre-workout, I'm gonna fucking end it all. I mean, what am I gonna do, man? I'm already struggling. I have to fist fight Landon in the morning to get enough eggs to actually, keep this.
You can truly bring the
pleasant
fight
physique.
to Ghost, as in they're a mile away.
Yeah, Ghost, if you're out there listening, I can walk to your headquarters from here. What's it gonna fucking take, man? I'm here doing I'll work for free, Ghost, because right now my pre-workout bill per year has to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,000. And I might be lowballing
over.
I mean, it's like $2 a month, $40 each, about $1,000.
All right,
but that doesn't
I thought
count.
it was more than $2 a month.
Well, that doesn't count the hydration sticks, which
Those are so bussin'.
they're so good.
For real.
They are.
For real. Yeah. Let them cook.
Yeah,
Let him
Brian, man, you were doing so well. That's not a spot to say let him cook.
I'm just gonna start some random saying.
No,
Don't sell yourself short,
you
bro.
were doing so well, but then we had to. Who let Brock cook?
Sorry, that comment was mid.
There you go. No, it was cringe. It was below mid. Sorry. Henry can't take it.
That was so good. You're laughing at your own shit.
I'm laughing at Henry, laughing at me.
He's just like,
I'm laughing at you.
Like it's like mutters, let him cook.
that comment was mid. To be clear, I'm not upset about the cost of eggs going up. I'm upset that there is an egg shortage.
Right.
I can't get my hands on enough fucking eggs.
Right.
Okay, Costco's limiting us. We have to go like literally twice a day to get enough eggs to stock up
We
for
have
a
to go
week.
directly to the source. Go right to the farmers.
If there were any in Nevada, I certainly would consider it.
Yeah.
Would consider.
You just need to start hanging out at farmers markets more often. You'll find a few.
If I consider it, you
Real
get
rich soil out here.
Yeah.
Rich with nutrients.
What do you need rich soil for to have eggs?
Well,
That's rich coming from you.
Saying to have farmers, Woke up today to see that all domestic flights had been shut down temporarily this morning. We're doing great out here, guys.
Wait, what happened?
America's bussing for real.
Let's go, dude.
Let them cook, Grandmama.
I love this show. I love everything about this show.
Homie. So apparently today was caused, it wasn't actually like Southwest's fault or any one direct airline. There's something called NOTAM, NOTAM, and it caused an FAA outage. So the long and short of what NOTAM is that it's short for Notice to Air Mission, and it's crucial for like flight planning. It gives basically all the communications amongst airports and airplanes. Something happened with that system. Don't know exactly what. We don't know if it was like hacked or if there was just a bug, whatever the case may be, but it was down. And it was causing a bunch of delays and cancellations. As far as I can tell, everything is back up and running.
Yeah.
It just seems like it might have been a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, they said there was no foul play. That's what they said.
Well, I mean, that's what
Are they going to
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
cook tomorrow?
I don't know. That was the first thing that came to mind, is that you're probably not going to get your flight to San Diego, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be delays because once one thing happens and there's a domino effect and the planes aren't where they need to be. So
Yeah, it's remarkable to me how the flights are able to
how efficient it is. Like
how they're able to correct,
right.
right? Like when that 3-day cancellation happened around the holidays, and it's the holidays, like the busiest time of year. Like, how do we get back to normal in less than a month?
Yeah.
You would think that there are just people like stranded all across the country. Like, I got to get out of here. Like looking at rental car options to drive cross country and shit like that. But no, it just seems like, there's always enough seats available.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy because anytime I need to go somewhere, it's always shocking when I show up to Southwest. It's like one seat left at this price.
Yeah. Every time.
Mate, you just lifelong run bad. When you say there's no foul play, do you mean like it wasn't the Russians? Is that what you're...
I think it was not the Russians.
Okay.
It might have been the Russians, but they're not going to tell us if it was.
Yeah. You can't let us know when they got us. We'll get Ingram on the case. He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No,
Lock in, Poppy.
Joey's living
Lock in.
a good life in the Midwest right now. He's
Oh, he's still home in Chicago?
I think so, yeah.
Wow. Imagine being in Chicago in January.
Ooh.
Very mid.
I've never been.
Just like negative
nice.
temperatures, 3 feet of snow or 5 feet of snow, whatever.
Yeah, been there.
It's
So you fly into Midway.
it's amazing in the summer. Got
Chicago?
Lake Michigan, got plenty of water around. It's a beautiful city.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh
Not so
major,
much.
if you will.
Or major.
Yeah. Like Pittsburgh's like Chicago
Pittsburgh's
minor.
big brother.
Yeah. Pittsburgh's like Chicago minor. Please please rename the show to 40-year-olds saying mid.
The only mid podcast.
No.
I love
We're
I'll tell you
big.
what,
This is
it's
a
about
base
to become
podcast.
the No Friends podcast if more days like today keep up. This should be the 200th episode. This is the most the most typical of actually this is the most behind the scenes of what pre-production looks like that I think we've ever done.
Complete
Right.
chaos up until like 5 seconds before we go
No,
live.
It's like-
I mean, even during the show, like, it's good though. It's raw. It's authentic. People get to see you rage.
Hey, that's a great way to spin it, Henry. You're on our media team. We appreciate you. All right. One more story to cover before we get into the main topic, and it's not a great one. There was a loss a couple days ago on Mount Charleston. Backcountry skier Punan Zhao was found dead via avalanche. Apparently, he was a poker player. I couldn't find too much on him outside of his Hendon mob. I think he had like around 100K in scores, but it was mentioned that he was a part of our community, so that's a sad loss for us to take. I think that there's a small video explaining what happened. You want to run that?
Yeah, Trisha, police said that a man shot and killed a tow company worker just down the...
What on earth just happened?
Now he wants us to read?
Newsflash, buddy. I'm not
I
reading.
hate, I
There's
hate
a
how-
video underneath Mount Charleston.
No, no, no.
He's just trying to keep on theme of this podcast.
Crushing it, bro.
News sites always do this. I
Absolutely.
can't
It's so-
stand it.
They do that, yeah.
It's so annoying.
It's like they have like multiple.
Yeah,
news
like the
things
headline
in
and then just some other random story in the video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just I want my news dictated to me. I don't want to have to read.
Yeah. Reading's for nerds.
You may have clicked the wrong link.
And brain nerds.
It should be the ktv.com. Nope. Wait. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it
not
is
the
this.
video that comes up for me though.
Oh, refresh.
there. Wow, they really did scam
Yeah,
us.
there you go.
They scammed.
They scammed hard.
Okay,
All
here
right,
we go.
here we go.
The
boys.
avalanche in the Mount Charleston area. And tonight, the Forest Service and search and rescue crews are warning the public about winter conditions up on the mountain. Now, Lee Canyon is closed until further notice for safety and avalanche mitigation. Abel Garcia joins us live from Kyle Canyon Road leading up to Mount Charleston. And Abel, I know this man who passed away was only 32 years old.
Yeah, Trisha, can you believe it? This man was pretty young. But what started off as a backcountry ski trip up at Mummy Mountain Trail with 4 more of his friends, when all of a sudden they encountered an avalanche. And again, that victim all of a sudden fell, the ground beneath him slipped behind him. He was dragged down that mountain 500 feet, but his friends could not save him. It was too late. Now today, the Clark County Coroner's Office has identified this individual as Punan Zhao, who lost his life in Monday's avalanche on Mummy Mountain. Now, Recreation Manager for Spring Mountain, Jonathan Stein, says it is rare for avalanche fatalities to happen, but not for an avalanche to occur. In previous weeks, we have had lighter snow with less moisture, creating weak layers in the snowpack. Now, in the past 48 hours, heavy snow with high moisture fell on top, creating the perfect setup for an avalanche. At a press briefing today, Metro Sergeant Matt Marlowe says their investigation reveals the victim and 4 friends were skiing on that slope off the Mummy Trail when one of those skiers triggered the avalanche and fatally catching Zoe.
First thing on your mind is like, that could be like my friend or someone that I know.
This tragic accident is a reminder of the dangerous conditions that can occur in the backcountry on Mount Charleston.
Jonathan Stein says they can't track an avalanche on national forest land where the Mummy Mountain Trail is located. It's also considered backcountry, so they issue warnings not to go there. Now, of course, with these winter storm conditions right now, we want to remind everyone that Lee Canyon is still closed as they continue to enforce and also ensure those safety protocols and also that avalanche mitigation. And actually 18 years ago from this Monday, there was another avalanche fatality accident that happened here at this mountain. So of course, it is top of mind for these officials to keep everyone safe during these conditions. I'm Abel Garcia reporting live near Mount Charleston. Trisha, I'll send it back to you.
So backcountry skiing and snowboarding is just when it's not regulated and approved that it's all good.
Yeah, they're just like trails, kind of like off the beaten path that aren't groomed. It's super common in a lot of areas. I think the scary part about doing it here in Vegas at like Mount Charleston is that the weather fluctuates a lot. And because we're so close to like the Desert Valley, which is Vegas, 30 miles away. From what I understand, they basically went through like a swing in weather where they had a large snowfall and it got very cold, and then it warmed up again and they had a snowfall on top of that. So it kind of creates these conditions where there's like loose powder, which can eventually, break free. Really unfortunate and super scary, especially because, Charleston doesn't get crushed with snow. I doubt that they were in like many, many, many feet of powder, not like Tahoe, where at any given time the base layer might be like multiple feet deep, and there may be like multiple layers of powder on top of that. That in my head would be like what would be fearful for a full-blown avalanche, and they control for that. There was a controlled avalanche in Tahoe right before Christmas, I think.
And the point of these avalanches are to like break up this.
So the controlled ones are whenever there's a threat of an avalanche due to weather conditions, or basically they patrol the mountains 24/7 to ensure that this doesn't occur. And if they notice like loose snow breaking away or whatever, they'll close a run, do a controlled avalanche, get back down to a solid base layer, and then let snow pile up on top of it. But Mount Charleston, I don't know if you guys caught it, but like they don't do any of that stuff up there, right? It's a very, very, very small resort with like 3 or 4 runs total, and like the backcountry trails, there's probably only a couple. So yeah, I mean it's scary because it doesn't appear that dangerous to do, right? To like find a backcountry trail and just ski down. You're not really thinking about avalanche threats, especially a small mountain like Charleston. And on the other hand, like places that get dumped on, like Tahoe, Dan sent me an article about tree wells. And he was like, because my nephew was going to Colorado to ski at Keystone. And he's like, just tell them to look out for this because they're getting dumped on. And what it is there's so much snow that it builds up like above the tree line. And so like trees kind of get somewhat buried and only the tops are sticking out. And you think of it as like, you're not that high up on snow and that it's only a few feet deep maybe. So you're not thinking like, oh, maybe this is like 10 feet deep or something along those lines. And what happens is like this sort of vortex creates around the tree where it's just hollow snow. And you could be navigating and you might be like 1 or 2 feet away from the tree line thinking that, you're fine and that these are just like, small spruces or whatever. And you end up in a tree well and just dropping, many, many feet down into it. It's funny, he sent me the article and then he fell into a tree well. Dan did multiple days later snowboarding, which is like super scary because you're strapped in.
Yeah.
But luckily he locked in.
Yeah, you're locked in. Luckily it wasn't that deep and he was able to like kind of unstrap and use his board to get out. But it's terrifying. Like this is how people just get buried alive and die.
God.
Snow sports are fun.
Yeah.
But they're very scary.
Yeah.
They keep trying to get us to go, Henry.
I'll go on the inner tubes.
Well,
the inner tubes.
I mean, until you become like some sort of expert, you just stay on groomed trails.
Right.
And nothing bad could ever happen there except running into another person.
Yeah.
Which,
happens.
Yeah. It happens. It just annoys people. It's not even like you're really going to get hurt doing that.
Just annoys people.
All right, I want to talk about the passing of Hank Yang. I mean, this hits really home to me because he's somebody that has been in the high stakes community for the better part of a decade. He's somebody that I've gambled with, for the majority of the time that I've been out here in Las Vegas. And I realize I'm getting to an age now where, shit starts happening, life gets in the way, and your peers start to pass. And that's a little bit scary to confront your mortality like that. But, I understand that this stuff happens and it's not necessarily a public topic of conversation, but Hank is a bit unique in the sense that he really was a bit of a staple in the high stakes realm, but nobody knows him for sure. Like many of our audience members have no idea. I imagine only Conrad might know him.
I do know him but only like through passings and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Ausmus.
Yeah. So of the 6 of us, only 2 of us have even encountered him, right? Like I don't think you guys even know who he is. So I do want to
I've heard of him.
Sure.
Probably through you.
Yeah.
Everybody's probably heard of him. That's has any connection in the highest stakes.
Bro, he's
a legend.
He was such a sick gambler. In like both the best and worst kind of ways. I mean, I'm not going to pretend like he lived a perfect life and didn't have his issues. I don't know what led to his passing, but I imagine that he was a bit of a tortured soul as well. But what a joy to be around whenever it came to being in a competitive environment where we're playing for, life-changing money oftentimes for the everyman. And, again, like he had his demons that he battled, but he never really brought them to the felt. Now, that's not to say that like he was never drunk at a table or anything along those lines, but it's more so to say that even if he was pleasant to be around, in my opinion, at all times. He made games great. He was kind of like a table captain, but in the most mindful type of way. A lot of how Hank and I became a little bit closer as individuals, as far as like working peers go, because it's not like we hung out off the table or anything like that. I only know him through playing, but we became a lot closer as peers because we both had this same kind of driven mindset to police the game and make it fun and a good environment for everybody. So nobody called out seed hoppers better than Hank. And I don't mean that in a way of like he shamed them or anything like that. He just had a way about him that was just like so fantastic at making people kind of understand that what they're doing isn't for their best benefit or anybody else's long run. He was very close to D Moon Girl. They had quite the friendship. They played in more games together than I did, especially since he delved into the PLO realm a little bit. So he was in those kind of special private games that are relegated to people who are willing to really fire it off and gamble. But from my point of view, it's one of those things where it's particularly unfortunate to have somebody who I think is a net positive to the community that may have been kind of like struggling a bit behind the scenes and suffering quietly. It makes you feel very powerless as an onlooker and a peer. And I know that Sean McCormick kind of echoed these thoughts. He tweeted today that I'm not at the point where I'm ready to talk about this. Hank and I had many chats about life and some of our mutual and non-mutual struggles. I'm questioning if I could have done more. I'm broken for Team Aria, his friends, and his family, and extended poker family. Rest now, my friend. It's weird, man. Like, I imagine Brian's probably the only one who can share in this, but like, have any of you guys lost people that are, I don't want to say close to you, but like, that you grew up with in some sort of capacity, like high school friends, college friends, co-workers? I imagine for you, Landon, the answer is for sure no.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Just one, which like from high school, crazily. I found out later, but someone that I went to high school with just had, I guess, like a tumor and just passed away a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just literally out of like nowhere to people that were not necessarily like call it close friends or whatever. I'm sure like some people knew, but when everyone kind of found out at the same time, it was like, oh, holy shit. And then it also like, so that's like, and then the other one was from a car crash, like also super young, like a couple years younger than me, but very, very rarely. Like, and I'm at the point where people in my circle are like getting married.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like having kids.
Yeah, you're at that step. We're
it's like,
we're at the next step where it's divorce and death.
It's like, whoa, man! Like, you want to have kids and get married? Wow. I mean,
I don't know what this is to say. Probably says a lot about me though. But I've never been to a wedding like of any of my friends. Like, or
well, you don't have very good friends.
Based.
I mean, Corey gets it's hilarious because
nobody
Corey
in this
gets,
room's married.
I was just saying, look who you're surrounded by.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, from like even like whatever back then, like, but like Corey gets a fucking invite every single month.
Corey's wholesome. He's from Michigan. They're very wholesome.
We
bunch
kind of
there.
went through that when all our friends from home got married.
Or
and
mid to late 20s, yeah, for sure. What? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Have you guys lost any like working professionals? Andre, I guess is better directed towards you since you were in the esports community for a while.
In the esports community, I think we've had a couple of people that passed away, but more so from childhood. Had a lot more people pass away, which is crazy. Similar to Landon, it's been almost exclusively car accidents and cancer.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. Like
Not for
my
us.
brother passed away from cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
you were
I
very
was
young though.
Yeah, I was 15. He was 18. He had leukemia. They did like a bone marrow transplant, and it didn't take. So, but yeah, it's crazy. It makes you put perspective into life, and realize you want to live it to the fullest. That's like when I decided to be like a professional poker player. Like I thought back to that and like, well, you just never know, right? You never know. So like if I have a chance to, do what I love and play poker for a living, move to Vegas, and I'm going to take that chance because I might never get it,
Yeah, when I was like 22, I want to say, my friend that I grew up with, like was very close with, Anthony Argenti, passed away. And it made me realize a lot in life, kind of. I want to say I was probably a little bit older. I was probably like 24, 25. I was just like life, you can lose life quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's so weird to have somebody you grew up with, like outside of like your parents or somebody like that, but somebody that you were kind of like same age with and just like you spent a lot of time with and lose them. It's like, well, this wasn't supposed to happen.
Right.
Not at this age.
It makes you hyper aware of your mortality.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
And
sure.
I think that's how this really hits with me is, as I'm aging anyway, you start to have these moral quandaries and these philosophical questions that you want to ask yourself about, like, what's the big picture look like? Like, I might be halfway through this life. What's the back half gonna be? And is poker the right vehicle for me to be strapped in on? And things like this really hit hard because it's like Hank was a very charismatic, down to earth kind of guy. Like, he embodied the gambler, right? Whenever you hear Eric Persons talking about the kind of guys that he wants into games,
It was Hank.
Yeah, it's Hank.
100%.
Right.
Like, he's just like the life of the party.
Yeah.
He keeps the game. Like, he was just like, he was good for the game while being fun, while being smart, while being like, just there. And I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the aspect of it too. It's like he was the life of the party, but he also like brought the party.
Yeah.
And I didn't play with him too much in the private scenes, only in Chad Power's game. Otherwise, it was mostly public. So his behavior was a lot more in line in the public domain. But there were times where we were playing like private games, and he's just like double fisting bottles of Dom Perignon, and he's kind of going hard, and it makes me wonder, like, kind of in the same sentiment of Sean's tweet of how important is it for us to look past the nature by which we make money, the environments that we curate that up our bottom line, the higher EV spots, and delve a little bit more into the human aspect of, like, not necessarily saving those who are down a bad path, but kind of like more so being there for those who are quietly suffering.
Yeah, I would think that it's more of the latter than the former, where you can't really control anyone or anyone's specific actions.
Sure.
You know, but when it comes to guidance, that seems like a potential possibility, but you can't save somebody from themselves in that regard as well, right?
No, but I think about it from the gambling perspective first and foremost, right? So forget about the substance, right? We all know problem gamblers in this industry. And for the most part, we prey upon them, right? Whether we mean to or not, I think we all have a very hands-off approach of morally it's not our place to step in. And if, basically like you can't save them all. Problem gamblers are going to exist. And you're in a space where your bottom line is derived somewhat from that activity. So it becomes a matter of like, where's the line drawn, right? Like, how well do you need to know somebody to kind of intervene? And, with Hank, it was like, he was always trying to better himself. There were so many like months of, no drinking. Like he was on so many no drinking bets.
Yep. If you see me drink $1,000, anybody in the wherever I am or something along those lines.
Yeah, and he would like live up to them. Like he would do a good job of remaining sober for periods of time. But I wonder how much of that then poured into like the gambling aspect. You know what I mean? It's like
right. You try to find your solution for one problem for somewhere else. Man, I don't know. It's hard because if you do the whole problem gambler aspect of preying upon it, they're going to find other ways to gamble, if not through you. Like in the poker scene, right? Maybe they go to a casino.
The problem doesn't get fixed.
Right.
Divorcing yourself from it certainly doesn't fix the problem.
Right.
Right. And I think that's why there becomes this bit of a moral ethical quandary. Because it's like divorcing yourself from it is almost just as much ignoring it,
I think there's a difference if maybe you get asked by the person themselves, where if they say, I think I have an issue, is it possible that you can like offer assistance?
For sure.
In some regards, and then maybe it becomes more of a personal responsibility if you choose to take it, right? Because if someone that I didn't know came up to me and said, hey, I'm a problem gambler, like, can you help me? It's like, I don't really know you, like that, like we don't have that sort of rapport. Like, so if you do decide to take on the responsibility and someone is close to you and says, hey, I have an issue, can you help? Now it becomes a little bit more of your responsibility if it's in good faith.
Yeah.
But obviously there's still going to be some tough conversations there too, because it's not like, it's like steps that to follow a process are going to be there, where if a problem gambler says that they want to gamble and you try to help and then they resent you because you're trying to help, now it also still becomes sticky.
I don't think that there's an answer to this for what it's worth. I think everybody has their own moral code and set of ethics. What I do think is important is whenever you first decide to pursue this game passionately or professionally, it's important that you outline how you're going to handle those spots.
Like that, yourself. Yeah. Like if you're risk like prone, like you're prone to gamble.
No. I mean that's a whole different conversation. I'm saying the fact that you're in a space where you're going to have to navigate the fact that somebody is, getting blacked out drunk at the table and gambling tens of thousands of dollars.
Are you okay with sitting there?
Right. Like how are you going to, or how does that sit with you? Right. And you need to make a hard decision very early on as to whether or where the line in the sand is drawn, basically.
Yeah. And I don't think there's a right answer.
No,
right?
Of course not.
Because there's probably no line, honestly.
Well, there can't be a right answer. Otherwise there would be a law or a rule or something along those lines.
There. Right? It's just like, as long as that the casino allows this player to play, it's like it's free game, and like that player wants to sit there and gamble anyway. So if they're not gambled there, they're gonna find yourself in the pits.
Yeah, I think largely speaking, my stance growing up was always showing deference to the casino, and just basically saying like, well, if they're fine with it and he seems to be fine with it, then it's not my issue.
This probably changes in the high stakes though. Because you're never getting kicked out of like a high stakes game as
right, but also there are very few people who fit that profile that could ever financially get hurt in the high stakes.
Right.
Right. So it's actually less of a problem there, I think.
Right.
Because you're saying the financial.
Like, because the regs would either have like backing in some regards and like not be in that spot to begin with, and the people that had infinite money that were problem gamblers just have infinite money.
Yeah, I was thinking about it from a substance angle as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's tougher on casino management and whatnot to try to figure out how to police. Like Brian and I, when we first started playing, there was this guy, called him Bob the Builder.
Bob the
Can he
Builder?
fix it?
Yeah.
Bob the
He's
Builder.
my favorite.
He would show up every Friday. Clearly had like, some level of wealth, and you know what? I think he won the lottery with some annuity. So I think he had like a weekly or monthly check that was coming in.
Didn't he win like the $1,000 a week for life?
Yeah, maybe something along those
lines. So that's why he showed up every Friday.
Every Friday,
deposit hit.
Every Friday, like clockwork.
I think when you hit that, you get like a check once a year or something.
Probably.
But yeah, he did have like steady, like he had something coming in every year.
But yeah, so he would show up every Friday and he would just start slugging beers. And that was the thing. It wasn't like
Friday beers.
People get certain levels of sloppy depending on like what alcohol they're consuming at what rate. But like this guy was just like a straight beer guy, but he would slug them, like literally just getting like full glasses, downing them over and over. And he would get so loud and chirpy, and he would challenge us to heads up and like all these other things. It was great.
Must be nice not having to pay any money for that.
We all enjoyed it. It was entertaining. It was a blast. But there were definitely times where looking back, he probably was like way out over his skis as far as like his level of coherence to the amount of money that he was gambling for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to even like touch this, because like when it comes down to it, it's like a lot of people play poker and like recreational and just like enjoy beers and like alcohol, and they get fucked up. And like, who's us? Who are we to say
It's
anything
hard to like put the line of where it's someone who's just enjoying themselves however they want to enjoy themselves and taking it too far.
Yeah, and like, who are we to say anything about their financial?
Well, we're not. That's the whole point. But the conversation that I'm trying to have here, and I didn't even mean to spin it this way. I kind of wanted to highlight more of the positive points of Hank and like what a joy he was to be around.
Right.
But we kind of have delved into now this like ethical moral quandary. The whole discussion I'm trying to have is not what is correct. There is no right or wrong, obviously. What I'm more so saying is, what I'm more so asking is just like how each of us navigate this space individually. This is why I don't ask questions on the podcast. Everybody's just like, what the fuck?
Well, no, I'm thinking about it, and it's like,
we can think. Let us think.
If there's an individual at the table and like he's just can't be here anymore, like, I mean, of course I'm going to say something to them, kind of. Like, I'm going to give them like a little jolt, like, hey, listen.
Well, I mean, even that, to me, I'm very non-confrontational. That's like far beyond what I would ever do.
I talk a lot. Like, I literally saw a friend the other day in Atlantic City that I've known forever. And I know he's had problems with things, whatever. And like, I walked up to him straight in and I said, are you still doing X, Y, and Z? He said, yeah. And I was like, we just had a 30-minute talk. He's like, dude, come on, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And like, I took him off the table for this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very confrontational in like those type of ways.
To me,
of course, this
is all the entertainment industry. Same thing. I had this moral quandary with it's not the same, but with esports, where it's like, hey, there's a lot of very high performers in esports that are frontiering. This is back in 2010, 2011, that are frontiering this entire industry. What are we doing? We could all be doing better things with our time and doing something for the world. But the entertainment industry is important, I think. Like, how we all consume our free time is important, and it shouldn't be reduced to, bean counting, basically.
Right.
And,
right.
That's how I've approached everything inside of poker as well. Because everybody does it for different reasons, and regardless, there's something in there, even for professional poker players that have seen everything, that it's still entertaining to you. There's a reason why you guys like to play so much, and it's because you like that feeling of being in the hot seat, whether it's for the gamble or whether it's for the mind games or whatever it is. You guys like to be in that spot, in that competition spot, and I just say, like, embrace it however you want to embrace it.
Yeah, I mean, I think at least from the standpoint of is what you're doing positive sum, negative sum when it comes to gambling, or call it content creation, or literally anything. I'm now kind of the impression that if you're doing something that you love to do and feel like you're providing yourself a value in some regards, you're doing the world a favor. Like, it doesn't have to be through the way of the conventional knowledge of you must go work here or do these things in order to become a positive provider to the world. Like, if you're doing what you find enjoyment in, that's enough.
Yeah, because in video games, like, if you want to bean count to what the EV is of playing a video game, especially the free-to-play models, it's terrible for you, right? Especially, I call it the free-to-play models because it's generally targeting whales. So I was working on, I probably shouldn't name the company, but I was working with a company that has one of the most popular mobile games in the world. And they were telling me that there are multiple people spending 5 to 6 figures a month on this specific mobile game, and that is 80% of their revenue. That top 1%.
Yeah. 5 to 6
like
figures
a month. It's a mobile game on your phone.
Yeah,
That's incredibly predatory.
Yeah, like a Farmville or like a.
But those people have the capacity to do it. And who am I to say yes or no? And is this?
Well, at that point, it's not your decision. I mean, it's your decision if you want to work with the company or not. But
Correct.
it's the creator's decision if that's the type of model they want to create. And I think that comes back to like what my original question, the spirit of it. Like, for me personally, I'm not here to police anybody's behavior. I don't want to be the moral police. I'm not here to judge anybody. Yeah. I'm happy to welcome everybody in and kind of play the role, whether I think that they're doing themselves a disservice or not, right? Like, I'm not going to police losing players any more than I'm going to police an under the influence player.
To be clear, I'm on the same page as you, right? If you have the ability to go for it, it's not my responsibility to make sure that everybody's doing things safely and soundly. But it's the same thing inside of poker.
Yeah, but I think where it's different in poker is like you have no oversight whenever you're talking about like mobile game and the predatory behavior of it or anything like that. For me, where I drew the line, or the decision that I made very early in my career, was not necessarily to have any impetus to tell people what to do or to suggest anything to them, but to ensure that the environment that they were playing in still remained fair. I don't want any predatory behavior to crop up off of this person's downfalls, basically.
Sure.
Right. Like, in the sense of, let's say somebody got so out of line or whatever, and like we're looking away or something, and someone wanted to like try to like look at his cards.
Right.
You wouldn't let that stuff fly.
Right.
Or like people, if you know, there's been times where there was a real problem gambler who like came into town and would start games. Obviously the game was built around him, and it was the same lineup going against him, and he would just keep upping the stakes. And what ultimately ended up happening was the people that he was playing with all worked on one bankroll and chopped him up. And like, to me, that's too predatory.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't let me in the game because I refused to be a part of the collective.
The fleece fest.
I wanted it to be me and him versus them, basically.
Right.
And I think I think that's how you can be an honorable gambler, I think, because all these points that we're making are very valid. Like, it's not on us to decide why people are doing what they're doing. And also knowing that the ultimate worst case scenario is that somebody obliterates their finances. I understand that, for people who are living in a survivalist mindset and, operate check to check or even potentially worse off, they see obliterating their finances as like the end all be all of like, that's game over. But the truth of the matter is, if you're able to step back at all and realize like money is just this thing we utilize to exchange or to recoup time, so to speak. Somebody who is obliterating their financial situation is probably doing themselves a whole hell of a lot less harm than somebody who's like a lifetime smoker and obliterating their health, or somebody who solely consumes fast food. And we would never in a million years think to give that person the office, right? And just be like, yo, you got to quit smoking, man. Or you got to quit eating these cheeseburgers.
The worst thing that happens is they have no money. It's not that they have.
And don't get me wrong, like I'm not trying to be reductive here.
No,
like
of course.
if you are hundreds of thousands in debt or millions in debt, and
That's different than
just struggling.
well, it's not that it's different. This can happen through gambling as well. But like, don't get me wrong, like that is a real fucking problem,
and which can lead to
a lot of mental health. Yeah,
I think you got to be careful to compare crippling debt with like alcoholism or being a drug addict or
well,
whatnot.
I mean,
Well, no, that's
I'm not
what he's
comparing
doing.
those two.
He's saying like
if you're smoking or eating fast food.
smoking eliminates parts of your life,
Right.
and going back to zero also eliminates, or rather it allocates parts of your life to doing things that are no longer in your control.
right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Basically, what I'm saying is like crippling debt is unlikely to be as harmful as crippling health.
Right.
Right.
In terms of longevity.
In terms of just like quality of life.
Right. Okay.
But I think mentally, because the body has a way of just continuing on, even if you do cripple your health, and it's not really a looming thing on people's brains until it becomes very extreme, that we're willing to sacrifice a lot of health in order to shore up financial independence or even security to some degree, right? Like we prioritize security over health in my mind.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why the vision of crippling debt and problem gamblers is so much more highly projected than somebody who is just like absolutely eating themselves into an early grave.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on your side. Like, I'm never gonna tell someone not to do something at a table. If the casino says like they can't play anymore and they have to leave, like you're not gonna step in and say, "No, like he's good for the game, he's staying."
There are some people though that are like that.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, of course.
100%.
Welcome to live poker.
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely told the floor for 100% like a player is fine to stay, but I also thought they were fine to stay.
Right. Yeah. You're not doing it because you think you just want to get their money.
Yeah. No,
that's,
it's like
that's different.
he was definitely fine to stay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like he's not.
But
whatever,
who are
he's
you
being
to be
loud.
the moral high ground that he is or isn't fine to stay?
No, it's just an outside opinion. Like I'm there at the table watching this when the floor comes over for 1 second because this guy's been loud and they're about to kick him out. It's just like, no, he's not drunk.
Because sometimes the floor doesn't have the full scope of what's going on at the table,
Right.
and they just see something, a quick little segment from outside, and then they're like, "Oh, this person probably can't be here," and they make a quick judgment, or it's just like, "No, listen, like, you know, we've been here the whole time."
A lot
and
of floors
everything's
also
fine.
would trust
Right,
my judge
yeah,
of
yeah.
character in this moment, probably. So it's
This
like,
is a slippery slope, though.
I mean, you say that,
It depends. I just think it's up to the individual to make that decision. Like if
Right.
you want to defer to the casino at all costs, then like you just should.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever made much of an argument for somebody to stay, but I've also never made an argument to get somebody kicked out unless they were like being belligerent to another human being.
Yeah.
Right. It's like
Right.
when behavior actually crosses lines on a human level rather than within the confines of the game, then it becomes a bit more.
And,
of
I
an
mean,
issue.
maybe it depends on Europe, but like a lot of, patrons aren't even going to have much influence on the casino's decision, anyways.
True.
Right.
Yeah,
It's just
very
like
true.
once they decide that this person's gone, they're gone. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I kind of think though, like I've definitely had people like not kicked out, but like, hey, this guy's sleeping at the table for the last fucking 7 rounds. Like,
Right.
Can we get him out of here at some point? Like he's not doing anything. He's not good.
That's the other shot. That's when he's really bad for the game.
Yeah, really bad for
He's
the
bad
game.
for the
Can
game,
we
so you
get
want him
this
out, not because he's
fucking
good
guy
for the game
out
when
of
we
here?
stay. Yeah.
Or give him an Adderall. I don't care what you do. pick one or the other.
Jeez.
I do have a few funny Hank stories to share. Christian's told this story on the podcast a few times, but we were playing 25-50 at Aria one day, and the game had started. It was like Christian, Phil Hellmuth, DJAF, and a handful of others. And that was when he posted, I don't know if you remember, but the when your heroes become your opponents or something along those lines, and it was a picture of Hellmuth.
Yeah, don't meet your heroes or something.
Probably.
Wait,
That's
who
the
posted
saying.
that?
It's
Chin.
never meet your hero.
Okay.
But the game ended up changing a little bit, and he called me like, come down. And he's like, it's pretty good. So it was a bunch of regs that varied all the way from like Schindler down to a few guys that I would consider to be like pretty shit regs. So I come in and I take a seat, and Hank is like 1 or 2 to my left, and we just absolutely love going to war. It's really a battle of the bottom. You know, who can have the shittiest hand at Showdown kind of thing. So this hand...
Oh, this was 3 deuce, 4 deuce.
3-5 and 4 deuce.
Yes.
Don't spoil, you bitch.
He's like Landon.
you're
He
the
just
worst.
they just step all over.
Why
shit.
do you say that when I'm just sitting here quietly, so nice,
Well,
letting you
Your
do your
past
job?
actions,
It's a
Landon,
callback.
Past
Yeah.
actions.
Me
I
and
don't-
Conrad.
You don't get to
please.
escape past actions. So this hand happened where somebody opened a real hand, I'm sure. I 3-bet 5-3
They're never
suited.
winning.
I 3-bet 5-3 suited on the button, and Hank cold 4-bets from the small blind. It comes back to the original razor. He folds. I call, and the board comes like ace 3 big. So like maybe like ace 3 8 or something along those lines with one club, and Hank bombs and I call, and then the turn is like the 8 of clubs. Then I have like a pair, gut shot, and a flush draw. No, just a pair and a flush
No.
draw.
2 pair.
No, ace 3 big.
Oh, because you said
8.
ace 3 8 and then
Yeah,
an
you
8
said
again.
8, yeah.
Oh, no, ace 3 big and then 8 with backdoor clubs.
Okay.
So he like bombs again, and I call, and then the river's just like a brick, something nondescript, maybe a 7, 9, 10, jack, whatever. No club, and
A brick.
and like, well, a brick for my hand.
A king. It was a king.
Yeah, a brick for my hand, who knows? And honestly, like knowing Hank, a brick for him too.
Yeah, of course. No,
It's like-
given the situation, it is a
Yeah,
brick.
he
but-
cold 4-bet me. It's like he only.
Like, oh, that missed everybody.
Yeah, it's not like he has like jacks, 10s, 9s, anything like that. Like those just cold call because fuck me.
Yeah.
We're also like crazy deep. We're like 30 or 40,000 effective
So
at
he has the
25.50.
stone nut low right now.
Stone nut low, literally 0. And if you guys have played with Hank, like he was such a character. He was so animated. And honest to God, this is the funniest part about him. The only time I really knew if he was drunk or sober was based off of how tight he was playing. Because his mannerisms were so fucking identical and he was so good. I mean, there were times where I knew he had like an alcohol prop where he wasn't allowed to drink, but he was playing himself drunk at the table and nobody else knew it but me. So like, I know he's sober and playing really fucking good, and everybody else is treating him like this drunk Looney Tune who's just like punting off, and he's just wrecking people. And he was like Andy Stacks, where he would just buy in for like multiple denominations of chips and just always have towers, and they're stacked fucking belligerently, and you never have any idea. And like, he would do these things where like he'd almost like fall into his chips. But the thing is like throughout the course of a hand, he was almost always laying on the rail, just like arm out, like spread over, and like rubbing his face and like doing all this stuff. For what it's worth, like in this moment, he's sober, and so like he goes through this whole rigmarole, and I'm just like thinking to myself, what the fuck? I'm probably just gonna fold, like what am I gonna do here? But at the same token, it's like it's Hank. But then I run it back through my head. It's like, well, he could also just have like 7-5 for a better pair, and like that would be awful. Anyway, when it's all said and done, finally he's just like, check. And I'm like, well, now what? Do I bluff? So I go through like the whole like mindset of like, well, maybe he's checking to fold, but then I'm thinking to myself like, no, it's Hank. Like if he has, 8th pair,
You're going to war.
he's just like, if he has 4s somehow, he might just call. It's like, what am I folding that's better? Who knows? So I check down, and he just holds his hand and shakes his head, and I hold my hand and shake my head. And he goes, miss flush draw, and I go, me too. And he goes, you win, and mucks his hand. And I go, do I? And he goes, you have to. I have the nut low. And tables 4 deuce of clubs, and I table 5-3 of clubs. And I'm like, okay, let's fucking go. And Christian's head absolutely like brains out of the back of it, just all over the Aria wall. Couldn't believe what happened. But like to me, honestly, this was like 2017, 2018. That was just such a typical hand. Like I didn't even like bat an eye at it. Like this is somehow weird, It was just like, yeah, this is what
Another
happens
hand,
when you're
yeah.
1,000 blinds deep, and it's me and him in a pot. Like these are the types of hands that are going to show up at the river. You don't know anything about this, huh, Landon?
No.
Landon looks mad.
I don't like the way you play these games.
Yo, Henry, what are you doing to the PLO people at Aria?
Same thing, bro.
Same thing. Yeah. We're talking about it with Matt last night. I just think I'm going to be Matt in 12 years' time. but hopefully, you know, like just have more money.
For better or for worse, man. For better or for worse. Like it comes with an exchange. I'm incredibly happy, but I'm only 10% as wealthy as I could be.
He's only happy on the podcast to be.
No.
But they just seem to give me action. They just love me. The Whales and the Rex. They even say to me, like they're like, we know you're really good at PLO, but you give action. And I think
that's well baiting.
That's like the mutual respect that you just have to.
No, they're just well baiting you.
Yeah, they set
but
you
it's
up for
good.
failure.
You don't want the respect. That's the best thing in the world is whenever they give
Wait, what is whale? What the whales are whale baiting me?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
You think I don't recognize it when I see it, bro?
Let's go.
Yo, Henry, let him cook.
I was just about to say
well
that.
played, Henry. Well played. Okay, cool.
When I used to play in Ivy's room, I'd table hands and JRB would like stand up, point, and laugh and say, "You guys didn't want to give him a fucking seat?" Like to the whales, like to the VIPs. He'd be like, "You don't want to give him a seat?"
That's fucking great.
At the same time, like he might text you and say, "Hey, you selling a quarter?"
Yeah, sliding in. I was watching Jeremiah's stream yesterday, and there was I was like deep in a tournament on WSOP, not doing much, so I decided to fire up a couple cash games to play so I could get on his stream. And we sat 5-10 deep, like 2K. Obviously, the game fills around me because Giga well. And his whole chat just starts saying like, fish tag him, he's so bad, whatever. And Jeremiah's like, no, he's pretty good. And I'm like typing in the chat like, don't blow my cover, man. Like
fish tag,
we stink
fish
around
tag.
these streets.
We stay stinky.
I played a very bad hand
You
against
don't
him.
shower after going to the
Jeremiah
gym.
is so good.
He's very good.
He is so fucking good.
He's
He
very
also
good.
seems incredibly entertaining as well from the brief parts of his stream that I've seen. I think
I've
he's
been
got
popping in there. And
gonna pop off, I think.
Well, it's not his first foray with streaming. He used to stream global back in the day, right?
Yeah, he streamed a bit.
Yeah. So he's done a little bit. Honestly, if I was global, I would fucking try to reach out and like ink him.
Give him money.
Just like one more. I mean, the thing is though, maybe they don't have to because
choices
we're so limited in places that we can play.
Yeah.
But you know, him throwing out a few CTAs during the stream and trying to funnel people to their site probably wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I feel like he gets the question of what side are you playing all the fucking time.
Yeah,
it's
he's
like,
smart.
It's so absurd.
On Twitch, you just go. It's in the FAQs. That's it. Like, that's just answer for everything, and then you just like hit them with exclamation point stakes or something like that. You know, it's the Twitch community is so much more accustomed to those commands. Where like on YouTube, we use it too. We use Nightbot a ton, but nobody ever addresses it unless like you condition them to. Yeah. And nobody ever looks at the description of a YouTube channel. So it's like even if you put them in the description, nobody scrolls down.
Sure. It's hard to get to because you have to hit that button.
That especially if you're on mobile.
Yeah, you got to expand that bitch.
Yeah. It's funny. Melissa goes, Jeremiah is wholesome and level-headed king, which is true. Jeremiah is absolutely very wholesome, but he's not beyond the memes. He put a clip out today of his giveaway, and the first 45 seconds were, you know what, chat? I really had a long think over this, and I want to give the winner to somebody that supported me throughout all this. So, Yadira, my wife, you've won the giveaway.
I fucking love him.
You've won the giveaway. Congratulations.
What a great human.
Well played, sir.
Well played, sir.
Well played.
He's going to be joining us in studio tomorrow for the 200th episode. Andre, are you going to be here?
I can if you want me to.
That'd be great.
Yeah, 200
Conrad, you going to be here?
If I can fly back in time, yes.
So no, Conrad won't be here.
Wait, what time is we doing it?
I don't know. I'm a little hesitant to move times around for you, Conrad.
Well, I mean, like I said,
tentatively we were at like
noon.
Somewhere between noon and 2.
All right.
Tentatively.
I can't say anything. I have an appointment at 10 a.m. in San Diego.
Okay, so
it's
Zero chance.
So Conrad's a hard
Don't
out.
you zero me.
Well,
You saw what happened when I got timed out today, right? Yeah. 35 seconds in the building. Fucking shit up. You just watch.
The last
if I can
point,
make it, I'll be
the
here.
last point was certainly true. Definitely fucking shit up.
Shit definitely got fucked up.
Melissa will be here with us.
Oh.
Actually, you not being here is probably for the best because.
Yeah, but dog shit is this?
Well, Melissa's gonna take your seat. We're gonna have Jeremiah in
We
studio.
only have so many microphones.
Yeah.
For Conrad.
But you
So
know,
much
if you can
shit
get
to
back,
fuck
we'll
up.
figure it out. I mean, we'll
don't
find
you
a
worry.
way.
If I can get back, we're figuring it out.
All right,
You can
well,
sit on Landon's lap.
That's true.
No, you can't.
That's true. We do have an extra mic. We'll cut Guapo out.
No,
he
we
hasn't
don't.
been very
Oh, I'll
talkative.
just hang out with Guapo. That's perfect.
Yeah,
I'll
do
just-
that. I did
yeah,
that once.
That'd be great.
Tomorrow should be a good time though. Jeremiah's going to be here. I don't think he's going to be here for all of it, as he wants to get his stream off and pop in at the usual time. But I'm going to reach out to him,
Just tell
confirm
him to
today.
stream from here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Not that easy.
Why not?
Well, I don't know. There's no desktop for him to work off
All right,
of.
Andre, help him.
Just use a laptop. It's fine.
Yeah. Have you ever streamed?
Yeah.
You've
Andre's on
stabled
production.
on a laptop before?
Yeah.
No, you haven't. You're lying.
You just pop another monitor on that bitch.
It's definitely not that easy, man.
It is
It's
definitely that easy.
for you, maybe. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Yeah, for you guys, maybe.
We used to stream all of Obex off of laptops. Like that was our whole setup.
But that was always your setup, right?
Right.
Right. So you're accustomed to it.
Well,
if
we
you
had
play
the
on a
extra
desktop,
monitor, like he said.
I'm just saying, if you play on a desktop with like two 32-inch monitors, and then suddenly someone hands you a tiny little laptop within a side and say stream, it's really fucking hard to multi-table.
I don't know, man. Get used to it. We won 6 figures doing that shit. So
Because he's a
Wow.
Yeah.
Only 6?
Only 6. Espen can't hold with kings against ace queen, can he?
No.
No, you can just win the main event instead.
Yeah, who fucking who for
He's
Espen,
so
man.
unlucky.
Unlucky.
This guy.
Unfucking lucky. Man.
Come back to us, Espen. We miss you.
May, the Return of the Jedi.
We'll be back.
He's the Jedi?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I did, but I was like 4, so I don't remember it.
Please
Spaceballs, though.
Don't engage with that.
Spaceballs,
It's
though.
a bait.
It is a bait.
It's whale bait.
See?
Whale bait.
Man,
I'm going to have a word with these whales down at the Aria, man. I'm going to hang them, guys. Have you guys been goading me to come
fucking
back
Captain
every day?
Arab over there, man.
Jesus.
You're the great white whale. It's fine. It's what you want. It's what you want. Good.
Well, I just wanted to ask ask Henry, how is that 510 field? Like, what does it look like?
It's interesting. They're like these. They're like 3 or 4 sickos. There's this one Ukrainian kid called Dmitry who just every pot you play against him, you're playing for your entire stack.
Yeah, and any Dimitri, that's usually how it
Yeah,
is.
like you just know, just like if he's in a hand, like it doesn't matter whether you're like 5k deep, he'll make you play for it all by the river. But no, man, it's just like classic live PLO. It's good fun. People getting it in with 8 high flush draws for like 2k. Why not?
Was that bad?
So I'll see you there.
Yeah, see you there, man.
Hold on. Is that bad?
You're gonna see my graph continue
Let's
to
get
go
Berkey
up.
Cup. See you there.
even higher.
What graph? Is this 9-handed PLO?
800.
Jesus Christ.
That does gotta stink.
I don't
How
know.
can people win?
I'm up 32k in
What-
10
bro,
days.
don't do that, bro. Don't do that.
No, because now I'm coming to play.
Don't do that. You're not up 32k.
I'm sorry, I'm stuck
You're
32k.
buried.
10 days.
Jesus fucking
Christ.
Christ. All right, tomorrow's episode is going to be completely on the soft skills of how to navigate the live realm.
Exactly.
No, but I don't care.
I'm
I'll
gonna
play
be
with
more
anyone.
successful in 10 years. No, you're not.
Shut
wanna
the
play
fuck
with anyone.
up.
Oh my God, you'll play it. I
Oh
hope
my
fucking Galfon
God.
shows up tomorrow.
It'll-
I hope you go there and Galfon's just sitting there waiting for you. He's like, oh yeah, you'll play with anyone, huh?
I played with Galfon before. Like, come on.
This
bet you're not
big
up
dick
32K
swinging
on it.
rag.
It's
No,
not.
you're
I just-
scared of everyone,
Okay.
man. Do I need to do all of your marketing
Man,
for you?
we have to have a segment called "How to Be Great Navigate Whale Bait."
Yeah.
Because Henry needs some help. Someone's got to help.
Based.
him.
I mean, come on, man.
Well, let him
Hey,
cook,
let
man.
him cook. Let him
I mean, we are letting him cook, but he's also maybe we shouldn't let him cook on this
Yeah,
one.
he's uncooking right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come down to the Aria. Come and play.
Hire
Min
a
buying's
chef.
500, max buying's 2k for some reason, but if you're like 90% of the people down there,
Just go north.
yep, nobody complains when you drop a couple of yellow chips on top of your stack. And all of a sudden we're 10k deep at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I got to tell you, I would take a little bit of time to try to understand the rules of PLO if you guys played 6-handed. But 9-handed PLO seems hard.
It's not 9-handed, it's 8-handed. Secondly,
First of all, how dare you?
there's like 2 dead seats in every game, as always.
Yeah, but they're getting 4 cards. I don't want to play a game where the deck is exhausted by the end.
Come on,
Can
man.
we run it twice? Not sorry, we're out of cards.
Yes, you can run it twice. You have to- Take a day off, Matt. Come on.
Grow up.
Just grow up, okay? All right.
How about them apples?
Is that on the list?
That's on the list.
Okay.
How'd you like?
It's
Have you
no
dropped
more
other
Mr.
ones that I've
Nice
missed?
Guy.
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, we're running out of shows,
I
so
know. Newsflash, buddy. It's about to end.
well done, young
And
man.
on that note,
Well done, young man.
That was
All right, we're going to be here tomorrow for the 200th episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you haven't already, head over to solveforwhy.io. We have a new episode of On Second Thought out every single Monday. We have I put a new lesson up in Mid-Stakes Bible, which I'm super happy with, about multi-way pots. And we do still have 2 seats available to February's Academy, February 2nd through the 5th, Poker Out Loud Style Academy. 2 days of gameplay, 2 days of strategy construction from the bottom up. If you were interested in that, head over to academy.softwarewide.io.
Very
Sign
likely
up
to
today.
be 1 seat.
Okay, it sounds like there's only.
Just saying. Very
Okay,
likely.
we have a lead who might be taking one of those seats. So it sounds like it's 1 seat and 1 seat only. Go ahead and get after that. We'll be back. Let's call it 1 p.m. tomorrow. I'm not positive on the time, but it's somewhere between noon and 2. Stay tuned to our socials to get that time for sure. 200th episode. We got a lot in store for you tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us as always. Please like, comment, subscribe.
Send us that love.
See you for the bicentennial.
Give us a little love. Give Hank Yang a little love. R.I.P. my
Absolutely.
friend. We'll see you soon.
Peace.